Good afternoon. I'm Shawn Yao, and this is One News Now. Malacanang says President Duterte has approved the proposal to not suspend fuel excise taxes. Let's get the details from Maricel Halili, who is reporting to us live from Mandaluyong City. Mase, are fuel excise taxes completely suspended, or is the suspension of fuel excise taxes completely off the table for now?
Shawn, we cannot say that for sure because in the first place, well, as you've said, President Duterte has already approved the proposal of the Department of Finance not to suspend the imposition of excise tax on the fuel products. But then, also earlier today, Representative Stella Quimbo has expressed her intention or appeal to President Duterte to call for a special session because the Congress, members of Congress still want to discuss the possibility of suspending the excise tax on fuel products. She said that the proposal of the Department of Finance to provide 200 pesos a month subsidy for the poorest of the poor for 1 year is not enough to pay for the increase of petroleum products. So they still want to discuss this matter. But like what I've said earlier, President Duterte has already approved the proposal of the Department of Finance.
All right. Apart from subsidies, Mase, did the secretaries have any other alternative solutions that they proposed to combat or to offset these series of oil price hikes?
It was actually Secretary Carl Chua of the National Economic Development Authority who gave more detailed recommendation on how to address this problem on the oil price hike. Of course, they have similarity with the proposal of the Department of Finance. One of the proposals of Secretary Chua is to push or to have a 4-day work week instead of 5 days. So in this scenario, workers will have to work for 10 hours a day instead of 8 hours. And aside from that, NEDA also wants to encourage to maintain the work from home setup. For workers, in this case, they don't have to pay for fare or they don't have to use private cars and spend more on petroleum products.
All right. Of course, still back on subsidies, Mase. The transportation sector is stands to get or receive subsidies for fuel. Have there been any new updates on this fuel subsidy program of the government? When will beneficiaries receive their first tranche? And, what's the amount that they stand to get?
So far, Shawn, the LTFRB has given an update about the fuel subsidy that is being distributed to the beneficiaries. They said that they have already started the distribution of the discount cards yesterday. But of course, they have already started the distribution to the jeepney drivers and operators, or those who have already benefited from the fuel subsidy before, because they already have the card or discount card from the Land Bank of the Philippines. But then there will be additional beneficiaries this time, including some bus operators and the TNVS. So they still have to process the cards, the discount cards from Land Bank, but they actually expect that they can finish the distribution within the month for the first tranche of fuel subsidy.
Right. We also have Transportation Secretary Artugade clarifying that tricycle drivers are exempt from these payouts. Why are they exempted from this?
Secretary Tugade clarified that tricycle groups, tricycle operators and drivers are not covered by the Department of Transportation. The local government units are actually mandated to process the assistance for the tricycle drivers.
All right, so they will still be getting subsidies for fuel, but just not from the DOTR, so they have to approach their LGUs for this.
That's right, Sean. LTFRB has actually during their presentation earlier has included tricycle drivers in the enumeration of those who will benefit from the subsidy. But like what we have mentioned earlier, the LGU will be in control when it comes to giving assistance to the tricycle drivers.
All right, and on the passenger side of things, Mase, have there been any new developments on the petition for a fare hike?
Well, the National Economic Development Authority is not in favor of the implementation of fare hike, even wage hike for workers. Secretary Carl Chua explained that once the government has approved fare increase or wage hike, it will only cause domino effect or the spiral effect, meaning it will also result in increase in inflation rate, even in interest rates for those who are having loans from the government.
All right, moving on to another topic, Mase, alert level 0. Do we have any more clarity on what this would look like or what this actually means? And of course, what it will take for us to eventually get there?
Sean, if we base it on the current resolution issued by the Interagency Task Force, well, technically, we still don't have alert level 0 because if we read the current resolution of the IATF, the lowest alert level that we have is alert level 1. There's no such thing as alert level 0. This is also the clarification made by the Department of Health earlier. But then again, this issue is being discussed by the members of the IATF, so they still have to finalize what will be the guidelines. If ever they have decided that we need to have alert level 0, once the World Health Organization has already declared that we are already experiencing endemic when it comes to the COVID-19 cases.
All right, thank you so much for all those updates across different topics. Maricel Halili reporting to us live from Mandaluyong City. And key government agencies are leaning towards providing even more subsidies over the suspension of fuel excise taxes. The Finance Department remains firm that suspending excise taxes on oil could result in losses of over 100 billion pesos this year. Finance Chief Sonny Dominguez says revenue from fuel excise taxes have already been allocated to different government projects.
If we suspend the fuel excise taxes under train, it will reduce the total government revenue by 105.9 billion pesos in 2022. Has already been put in the budget and has already been allocated for different expenditures.
Meanwhile, Labor Assistant Secretary Dominic Tutay said they are planning to subsidize minimum wage earners. ASEC Tutay added that the DOLE will still review the petitions calling for a wage hike.
Ganon din po yung proposal namin, Mr. President. At ito po ay para po subsidiya para po sa mga manggagawa na mga minimum wage earners po in the amount of 24 billion to benefit about 1 million workers sa loob po ng 3 buwan.
We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here on One News. Hi, Marl. Sorry. Okay. are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Being a Marcos could be one of the reasons why Bongbong Marcos is currently topping presidential surveys, according to Pulse Asia. The polling firm's research director Ana Tabunda told 1PH that they were not able to get enough data on why the majority of the respondents picked Marcos Jr. as their president. However, Tabunda believes that the former senator's resources and his family name could be boosting his survey numbers.
Sa tingin ko po, malaking bagay po yung maraming resources si Senator Bongbong Marcos na kaya niya i-maintain ang presence niya sa social media at sa traditional media. Malaki po yung edge niya. At tingin ko po, nakakatulong sa kanya yung kanyang connection sa kanyang ama dahil mukhang maraming Pilipino ngayon ay maganda ang pagtingin sa nagawa ng kanyang ama.
Tabunda added that other candidates can still catch up with Marcos Jr. in the surveys, but this could already be a tall order at this point in time.
Hindi naman imposible, pero mahirap po. Kasi po, nung tumatak po siya sa pagka-vice presidente, hindi po ganun kalaki yung agwat. Noong 2016, sa pagka-vice presidente.
And Manila Mayor Isko Moreno starts his two-day campaign in Negros Occidental. Let's get the details from Marlene Alcaide, who joins us live from Victoria City. Marlene, hi. What's Mayor Isko been up to there in Negros?
Hi, Sean. Presidential aspirant and Manila Mayor Isko Moreno chose to start his two-day campaign in Negros by visiting Bacolod. Supporters warmly welcomed Moreno in Silay City this morning. On the latest Pulse Asia survey, Moreno shrugged off his rating as he believes that what he's seeing on the ground is different from the poll numbers. Moreno adds that surveys are being released to condition the minds of the voting public. Moreno also had something to say against his rival Bongbong Marcos. He said that the Marcos family should pay their tax liabilities to the government. This comes after the BIR confirmed to Mayor Isko's camp that it has sent a written demand to the Marcos heirs just last December regarding their 203 billion peso estate tax debt. If Morenos wins in the upcoming polls, he vows to impose charges against the Marcoses for the billions of pesos they owe to the government. The Manila mayor said this will be a big help to the country amid rising prices of fuel, electricity, and basic commodities. Sean, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno will have a meet and greet with some of his supporters this afternoon in Barangay Banago in Bacolod. Tomorrow, he is set to visit Negros Oriental to woo voters in the area. Sean?
Thank you so much for those updates. Marlene Alcaide of News 5 reporting to us live from Victoria City in Negros Occidental. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.